And so now I'm going to pass the floor to Sophie, who's going to interview the teachers so that you can hear really from who you want to hear from about how it went in the classroom.
Yes, thank you, Bryony, also for giving a great outline, I think, on the project. So I know how it's going in Belgium. I've heard some teachers already give me some good feedback and some points that we need to change a little bit here and there. But I've not heard from you guys yet. So I'm super curious, how are your experiences? And I'm just going to ask a couple of questions and you can jump in on whatever you want. So my first question would be, how did you find the overall process of the co-constructing together with the researchers and the teachers?
Yes. So my name's Danielle. I actually work in a school called Slough. A school in Slough, and it's an all-girls faith school. And so when we went to Roehampton, not only is it a beautiful site, we got to listen to some of the research, which was already digested and presented to us in a really easy to access way. And it confirmed my suspicions, which is that boys are very confident, but may not know that much about politics, and girls know a lot and don't necessarily have the confidence. So it was really nice on that day to feel like I was engaging with some research about the subject and about the kind of teaching methods. And then we had the opportunity to plan together how we can then try and make girls more confident. And it allowed us to brainstorm, not just within a lesson, which is about 55 minutes, the bell goes and then we have to leave. It was really a unique experience for me to be able to talk without any limits, without any time kind of constraints, and really thrash out how we can address the issue and hopefully plan some really interesting lessons for the girls. So I found it a really beneficial
positive experience
for
you.
Yeah,
Amazing. And for you, I assume that you guys were in the same session?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. I'm Teresa. I work in alternative provision schools, so a small school in Surrey, and kind of similar, like definitely it was great to be able to actually have the time to plan a proper sessions. But also I'd say as well, like actually getting to see the research is like something that you kind of forget when you're in the classroom. You just get busy, and actually to see the impact of why we're doing something, I think it's probably, for me, like personally, it helped to improve my own teaching development, because I actually take the time to see the whole process through, and also then to be able to speak to my students about that. Now we're coming to an end, I've kind of said to them, look, actually, you know, this is change in itself, how we be part of something, whether kind of small or what, where you fit in. So they've had a chance to also see how they fit into it. So yeah, it's been good from both sides.
Amazing. And so now you were already going towards the end of the pilot intervention, I believe. In Belgium, we're already done. They have school holidays already, I think. How did it go up until now, the intervention, the implementation in your schools? And do you have some examples of student reactions?
So it's been really interesting for me using the resources that the team have provided. Obviously, you're going to maybe tweak specific to your context, or you know what works for your students, but it's been really, I found really helpful to say the first lesson where we're looking at lots of different images. They've been so carefully thought through and selected, and they offered so much variety that I straight away started to see a conversation happening between the girls that maybe hasn't happened to the same length or to the same extent as it's happened before. The surprising thing for me was maybe in session 4, when they were given the 2 different case studies of what they would like to create change on. If I was planning this independently on my own, I would have chosen the pay gap, something that perhaps is relevant to me as a female worker, and I would have disregarded the concept of English literature and the misrepresentation of lack of female authors, lack of female protagonists. And then surprisingly, 4 out of the 5 groups chose the English literature as a focus. So it's really kind of opened my eyes, maybe made me recognize that I have a bias in the way that I'm approaching things sometimes, and taking that step back and using the resources that you guys have provided has resulted in higher engagement in some aspects. So yeah, it's been successful.
Yeah, again, I agree. For me as well, I have a mixed cohort and mixed gender as well. And actually, it's been, although I know the research side is aimed at the girls, it's been nice to be able to do it with all of them, because I think actually the boys have benefited just as much. So that's been a nice side. But even so, like, again, I've got a really disengaged group. So when we started, I mean, the politics side, everyone, all it was they knew Boris Johnson, and that was it. And actually, I have now, only yesterday, one of my girls was like, do you know what? She said, I'm going to be the next Prime Minister. And I was like, but it was like, actually, she can now see that it's not just, you know, these people here that you know nothing about and you can't connect with. Actually, there is a way, and it's linked for some of them as well who know more about like the social side of politics. It's linked that formal side, and they're seeing that actually there is a connection and you can be part of it. So that's been good.
Amazing. So I assume there might be some teachers in the room with us. We should recommend teachers to participate with our projects.
Yeah, definitely. I think like every teacher, you always feel that time is a challenge and that, you know, it's just another thing to fit in and you already have your full timetable. But the work with Roehampton and the project in general, the resources have been provided, the help is there. Bryony offered to do Zoom calls with us before we launched these 6 sessions or 5 sessions to make sure we didn't have any extra questions. They've always been really responsive to emails, and ultimately, you know, 40 minutes, it can be carved out. You might teach an hour a week or a lesson a week, or it might be something that you need to deliver over tutor times, but it is really feasible. And I might be wrong, but I feel that if I didn't have a lesson that I could give over per week for this, we would find a different solution and make it work maybe over a split tutor time to get that 40 minutes in. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, I'd completely recommend it. Whether it's for your own personal development, being able to work with other teachers, seeing the side from the research with the university, that's been good as well. But yeah, I think
It's an positive experience. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I think that we opened the floor in a little bit that people from the public can also ask some questions. I have a testimonial with me from a teacher from Belgium because she couldn't be here. I think she's already on holiday. And she kind of said the same thing. I'm sorry. She mentions we participated in a G-EPIC project by doing an intervention in our citizenship classes in year 9. Politics is such a loaded topic for students at the age of 14, 15, and many are not engaged in it. So we're looking for ways to spark their interest. For me, it was especially important that they learned that politics is also in the smaller things, such as helping to decide where the youth movement goes or the youth movement camp goes. I think that we succeeded at this. The content of the lessons could be adapted from the pilots, which we're also going to do together with them. But she would not hesitate to participate again, and it brings politics in the classroom in an approachable way, and it makes teaching about it easier as well. So I think it's kind of a similar situation that you described already in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That's Bryony.
Yes, very briefly, just we're hoping that there's some teachers in the audience and you can find out how you can be involved. Okay, so the pilot's finishing now. We're analysing the data from the pilot. Germany and Denmark are going to come involved and use our findings from our research as well. We have important in yellow, we have a teacher workshop on the 21st of October. We can have more teachers, as many teachers as would like to participate can come and join and be involved in the new round of this. And this will be upscaling our work. And so we'll get the evaluation data back, can be involved in the final tweaking of this. And then you can go ahead and come to here and then be involved in the final version. I don't jump as well. Then we have the European and the National Advisory Board. And then it's January would be from January to Easter would be the period for doing the final intervention. So that would be the time place for other teachers and new teachers to come and be involved. Then we'll obviously analyse the data, we'll have control groups there, so we'll be more certain of the findings on how effective it is. And then we're going to develop a toolkit for teachers and have some teacher training sessions. Okay, so we're almost at the end. There's 2 parts that you can participate. Every teacher who participates will get continued professional development certificate, both from Roehampton and from internationally from Belgium University as well. You get to be involved in this international project and collaborate and network with new teachers and find out what's going on in other countries. And we hope it's super interesting for you. So, and then if you would like, we're going to have a teacher information session next week. So if you want to come up or use the QR code, then please do. And I'm down, we're all down in the market area throughout, and we have a store there, so please come and grab us if you would like to be involved. But now we open up the floor for questions and discussion.